Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome! Star Citizen 4.1 is now on the PTU for the Evocati. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you all so much for the support. Cannot do this without you. It is very much appreciated. And if you're interested, be sure to check out my new YouTube camping channel, which I will link below. So the next patch, being Alpha 4.1, has just released to the PTU for the Evocati. However, it was posted on the first message of the day yesterday that the goal for this build was to open it up to further waves as early as that evening, so last night. But later that evening, they stated that they are not able to get it open to Wave 1, but will attempt to open it up to more waves tomorrow, being today. So, very interesting that they are already planning to push this build out to Wave 1 pretty much within the same 24-hour period of it going to the Evocati. Now, this tells me a couple of things. Firstly, as they fix more and more issues and get the persistent universe overall more stable and playable, it gets easier to push through the PTU waves quicker as there are less issues. Plus, it's not core tech that's rolling out anymore as much, and there are also less big features coming with each patch, so it makes it less likely to cause bigger long-term problems. But also, they are aiming to get 10 patches out this year, as we heard, so my guess is 4.1 out by the end of March, all being well, of course, with 4.1.2 around the end of April, and so on. So they obviously don't want to keep these patches in the PTU for too long, if it's not necessary, and hopefully we can see this build go through the waves pretty quickly to get open to all on the PTU, giving them the best chance of getting that concurrency up, that data that they need for more players, and getting it out to the PU by the end of the month. Anyway, let us check out what this patch has to offer. And remember, with it being an Evocati, I'm not able to show you anything visually or play anything audibly, so I can talk about my experience and share the patch notes, although with that said, the patch dropped last night at around midnight, so I have yet to play it myself, so I can't report on how well it plays. Now, testing focus for this build is stability and bug fixing. They have also re-enabled the new player experience at Orison and New Babbage, plus the upcoming new event missions as well, although it does say that they are keeping all of the details limited to test in-game communication. Now, this event will utilize the two new Theaters of War locations, being the Hathor platform alignment facilities and the Hathor orbital laser platform. So it is safe to say that these new locations did not mean Theaters of War is coming, plus it looks like my original idea of this new redacted mission being the Sandworm Monster Hunter missions for Monarchs is less likely as well. But we do talk a little bit more about what this mission could involve later in the video. Now, features that are in but not ready for testing include this Tier 0 item recovery, which is where players will be able to respawn with whatever they had equipped on their character at the time of death. The new redacted location, which I think is the location for the new mission or redacted mission giver. They have updated the character skin and eye shaders and wrinkle maps, hopefully adding a little bit more detail to the characters. Meshing mission updates, meaning they have updated the missions and mission system to work better with server meshing, and the vault weapons. And likely a few more will open up as testing continues. So for features and gameplay, specifically ships and vehicles, it says they have done a heavy fighter general archetype balance pass with joint health, thruster power and max speeds being adjusted for heavy fighter archetypes, stating that most of these speeds and thruster adjustments were needed due to thruster weight changes that have gone into 4.1. And after reading the latest monthly report, it is great to see all of the work on the flight model picking back up, and also interesting to hear that the thruster weights have been changed, dialing everything in to adjust flight for both atmospheric flight and space flight. Now, they have also done a landing gear rebalance for many ships to help balance their weight distribution. Very happy to hear this. Although it's not a major issue, but many ships faceplant when they come into land. So hopefully this adds a bit more balance to that so that the landing is smoother and it just looks better. And finally, for feature updates, the Argo Atlas can now be destroyed with updated health and damage states. Now, this is obviously something that was needed, so good to see that this is getting addressed. It'll be a lot of fun to see how it breaks up. Now, with this build, there are 24 potential bug fixes, including the transit systems becoming unusable, ASOP issues, jump points, and many ship-specific bugs. I'm not going to run through each of them, but I will list the patch notes below should you want to read them for yourselves. There were also 7 client crashes fixed and 6 server crashes fixed. And then for known issues, it states that this initial 4.1 build contains extensive transit logging to help track down the hardest to find issues. So great hearing that they are really hyper-focused on getting the transit issues hot-fixed, and hopefully they can resolve as many as possible until this transportation system is refactored. Now, for the new mission event, it says, we have temporarily disabled laser damage from a certain portion of the new open event. Now, this is likely referring to this Hathor orbital laser platform, which in Theatres of War, which was kind of a battlefield rush mode in Arena Commander, it required players to fight their way to get up to this orbital laser and then trigger it, completing the mission. So this must have something to do with that in this next new event, and from what we have seen with the updated lore for the Hathor group, saying that the company invested the last of its funds into mining in the Stanton system when the Stanton system was just discovered, but due to unforeseen difficulties, Hathor were forced to cease operations, and the Hathor group was formally dissolved in 2864. So these old Hathor facilities that have pretty much been abandoned for almost the last 100 years are in the Stanton system, likely got gangs living there now, and the mission will take place there. What it involves, I have read the leaks, but I'm not going to speak about that here, but it should make for some pretty interesting jobs. Now, there are 5 critical bugs, including transit, mission, star map, and hangar issues. In fact, the hangar issue listed here is what I'm suffering from right now on my main account, where I was ungracefully expelled from the hangar, and now I can't access my personal hangar again. So I really hope that this gets fixed, as I have newly decorated it, as I showed in a video, and I can't even go in it. So very annoying. Now, there are also 2 high priority known issues, being for jump tunnels, including the asteroid issues, and then there is also a known issue for when you destroy the Argo Atlas. It'll give you a crime stat 3 homicide charge, and for the Mirai Guardian, it still spawns without its landing gear deployed, making it unenterable. But there you go. That is the first patch for Star Citizen 4.1, currently in the Evocati's hands, but by tonight, it is likely going to be with Wave 1. Now, I suspect that there will be a lot more bug fixes and quality of life updates to come with this build. Plus, reading the monthly report, there is probably a lot of other updates that could roll in, maybe for ships and vehicle balance, amongst other things, but that is it for now. Now, I'm actually starting to get very hyped for how Star Citizen is coming along already this year. Alpha 402 is so much more playable for me. There is still a lot of issues with hangars, ASOP, and freight elevators, which appear to now be the priority for Cloud Imperium, now that the elevators are in a pretty decent state. For me, I haven't had a single elevator issue since 402 dropped. If you do see the interior is missing in an elevator, obviously don't step into it, just wait, reopen the doors if necessary, and it will spawn in eventually. But 402 is giving me a lot of optimism for how this year is going to unfold, with more and more long-standing issues, both major issues, but also those very annoying little issues that have been around forever, starting to get fixed, with so much more to come. It was a lot of fun playing on stream the other day, where we had almost a full crew in the Reclaimer salvaging away, and if this kind of playability and stability and bug fixes continue on, alongside things like engineering rolling out and more content, there are going to be a lot of great times ahead in the Persistent universe. One thing that I really hope they can get working consistently though, early doors, I know there's a social refactor needed, but VoIP is one of my biggest gripes right now, just the inconsistency of how it breaks and works sometimes and then stops working, and then some players can hear you, they can't hear other people, and you can hear them but not someone else. It's very annoying, so I'm hoping they can get that fixed as soon as possible, or at least hot fixed. But with that said, I hope you are all having a solid time in the verse. I'm sure it's up and down for most of us, but I am seeing with 402's release a lot more comments about how it's becoming more playable for others as well, which is great to see, and hopefully that will just continue throughout this year. Now, if you do enjoy my videos, please do consider subscribing and helping the channel to grow. We are so close to 70,000, and we have a lot of ships to give away, including the Guardian, which You know, if you win that and they haven't fixed the landing gear, you can at least see it flop around in your hangar, even if you can't get in it. Also, as stated, I have a new YouTube camping channel. The videos are going to be as and when I get to go camping, so not that often, but I will do reviews of the gear that I use as well. So if that is of interest to you, do check it out. It's linked below. Come and hang out over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother or here on YouTube. I generally stream on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 2 and 6 p.m. GMT, but this Friday I am away watching Disney on Ice. So the next stream will be Monday. You are all more than welcome. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favour, and tick that notification bell if you would like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a massive thank you to my patrons and channel members. Cannot do this without you guys, so thank you so much for the support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.